be this much better this year. So I thought top 5 would be a stretch.
All right.
Yep. Now, contrary, what was your worst moment of the season?
Monaco. Absolutely Monaco. I think everybody agrees on that one.
Do you like the track though? After all, the worst weekend of your
2
year?
weekends. The worst 2 weekends, both years.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the track though?
It's something special for sure. I mean, it's very challenging, I think, especially in qualifying. When you have done your lap, you're like, wow, that was really on the edge in qualifying.
Yeah.
Or in my case, over.
All right. Gotcha.
All right, Daniel. Looking back at the whole season, what was your best moment and why?
Fortunately,
Monaco for you?
I think the Saturday. Saturday.
Right.
Fortunately, like yourself, we've had some pretty good highs this year. One thing I hadn't yet done was a pole. So to do that in Monaco made it probably more special to get my first pole there. So that was a big highlight. And then, of course, as you said, the win in Malaysia, being on the top step again felt good. So I'm going to be greedy and say 2 moments.
What was your worst moment from this season?
Probably everyone's expecting me to say Monaco, but it wasn't my personal worst moment. I think it was the worst moment probably for us as a team. But like I felt that day I did everything right. So it actually wasn't my worst moment, but sure, it was the worst moment of the season. If I was to say my worst moment, just all good moments.
Confident, yeah, I mean, for sure.
I don't know. I guess the answer everyone's looking for is Monaco. So, but again, it was
out of your hands, basically.
Yeah. So it was still like a great weekend, I felt personally, but obviously the outcome was tough. So yeah, it was the first time I've ever not attended a post-race debrief. I'm normally very good with that, but I just felt it was best to. And because my house was like 500 meters away,
you
I
were
was
like, let's go home.
Go home and not talk to anyone for a little while.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine.
Alrighty. A lot of people said the team was wrong to replace Kvyat with yourself, and the media said they were very surprised. What did you think about the reaction at the time? Did you understand their point of view? Were you thinking, all right, I'm going to prove them wrong? What was your sort of feelings?
I mean, it's always a very difficult decision, and I mean, I could place myself also in his way, I would say, and it's very hard, it's very difficult, but that's the way Red Bull works sometimes, and they, I guess, are looking also for the future. When you get that opportunity, you just can't, you can't wait to go for it. And I just approached the weekend very neutral. I didn't care about all the comments, the media was saying about the move. It was now up to me to prove them wrong. And yeah, and in one way, it was a very relaxed weekend as well, because it took a lot of pressure off, because I approached it as a learning weekend. And I think so far it has been going pretty well from there onwards.
I remember it was probably the most watched press conference of the year, with you and Danny sitting in the front row. Everyone was waiting. Yeah, it's funny how they position the press conferences sometimes. So everyone was like waiting. Who's going to hit who?
Yeah, I was prepared. I was just sitting there.
But as you said though, like from the outside, it's not that you called Helmut and said, Helmut, get rid of Danny, put me in. It's just how it works. And obviously, if you get that opportunity, it's our job. You can't turn it down, and you can't be sympathetic to a competitor, because this is the sport we're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So then, I guess to follow up, when you won in Barcelona, was any of your happiness actually relief to have proven Red Bull was right to back you?
It is something. What helps a lot, I think, a victory. It's not everything, because, I mean, you have to prove yourself over a whole season and then again and again. But it's something, you come into a new team and then you win the race. It's like, okay, well, at least it's a very good start instead of a struggling start, So not only, I think, just a relief to prove Red Bull, but also for myself, because it was always like a target to win a race. And then once you win a race, you're like, wow, that's something very amazing. And it takes a lot of pressure away, because you've achieved something already like that. And then, you prove that you can win a race, because, I mean, before that you can drive fast laps, you can have good races, but you have never won a race before.
Yeah, I can definitely agree that it's the same when I won in Canada. It's you believe you can do it and you think you can do it, but until you cross the line in first with all that pressure and on the world stage, so to speak, then it's like,
yeah, it's
like,
a nice feeling.
Okay, I can do it. You know? So
yeah, it's good.
I feel you.
After I joined, media asked you about increased pressure, and your reply was always very professional. But was there a time when you did feel any?
I think there's always pressure, to be honest. When there's, in general, within this sport, there's always pressure because, as you sort of touched on, you won in Barcelona, but it's a whole season, and sometimes you're only as good as your last race.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess when you've got a new teammate, your teammate is the only guy you can properly reference yourself from, as you know. But it's the guy in equal equipment. So at the end of the day, if your teammate beats you every race in the year, then you could be coming second every race. But if your teammate's winning every race, then you've had a terrible year. So there's always pressure. At the time I was getting the best of Danny. My performances were generally better than his, so that was going well, let's say, on that front. But then obviously you've stepped in, and it's like it's another challenge. And it's like, well, I obviously knew you were quick, but it's like, how quick? And then how's he going to deal with everything else? So I guess there's pressure on both of us, I guess. But yeah, on me to obviously make sure I keep delivering and don't, get out qualified by half a second every weekend because then it kind of sucks. But,
well, luckily that's not the case.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun. What sort of teammate am I? These are awkward questions.
You're such a lovely, caring, beautiful, beautiful teammate.
Such a beautiful boy.
Yeah. We have to do that again, or you think that's all right? What kind of a teammate am I? Be nice.
Yeah, I joke a lot about.
Otherwise, I don't give you any chocolates anymore.
What kind of teammate? I would say, like a lot of interviews I've done, I get asked about you a lot. So
by Dutch people mainly?
I think generally.
Okay.
Generally, but yeah, I get asked a lot about your age, and it's like, what I say is that, sure, you're young compared to a lot of us, most of us, or younger, but you're, in racing terms, I feel you're quite old or quite experienced, let's say. It feels like you've, I guess maybe through your father a bit as well, but I guess through karting at the top level and that you learnt quite a lot at a young age. But it seems like like me at 18, for example, I wasn't used to the environment of Formula One, or it didn't really feel natural yet at that age, where it seems like you're a bit more accustomed to it and even like communicating with the team, and that it feels probably more natural at your age than it would have for a lot of us. So yeah, young in age, but not so young in terms of motorsport experience and the motorsport world.
So Daniel, what do you think made Christian most happy this year at the racetrack?
Oh, drinking out of my shoe.
It was definitely good champagne, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, sure, as a whole, I would honestly say the 1-2 in Malaysia, because I think both of us were, as a team, it's the best result you can have. Sure, maybe I was a little bit happier because I won, but as a team, you can't get a better result, And obviously your win in Barcelona, I'm sure he was 99.9%.
He was happy, but he felt sorry.
But maybe it was like, because he knew I was probably disappointed, so the emotions were probably more mixed, where I think Malaysia, as a team, it was like, both drivers will be happy enough.
And I think also the way, first we had like a good fight, we gave each other space, and they were like, they were at the pit wall like, oh my God, what's happening, So yeah, definitely, I would agree on that one.
All right.
Did you see him angry at all?
Did I see Christian angry? Angry, I don't know. For sure upset. Again, I would probably say after Monaco on the Sunday. Even we spoke on Monday. I didn't want to sort of speak to anyone Sunday night, so we spoke on Monday, and I could tell, obviously we were both still affected, but I could tell he was pretty down. So yeah, besides Monaco, I don't know. I think we haven't really pissed him off too much, I don't think.
Oh, luckily not too much.
We crashed a few race cars, but Not that many.
Yeah.
Come on, it was
Yeah,
okay.
it was okay. It was not bad. Yeah.
All right. After Spa, a lot of people were getting on your back about your driving style. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I always stayed pretty neutral about it. I mean, of course, I wasn't happy at all after Spa. You know, after a good qualifying and then in front of your home crowd, so many people, they were there to support you, and actually, like within 100, 200 meters, everything just falls apart. Yeah, so I think it's always the most important thing is you have to believe in yourself, and you shouldn't read too many comments. I think after Spa, I also deleted a lot of stuff from my Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. You know, I was not following anything from F1 anymore, just other stuff, and I think that helps a lot because you don't read all the comments. What was your best move on track this year and why?
First one that comes to mind is there's a few, but first one is Monza on Bottas. Yeah, it was probably the furthest back I've ever come before. And in Monza as well, your speed is pretty much the highest of the year, and you're braking, as you know, with little downforce.
Yeah.
So I think to get it right is even more difficult. So to do it from where I did and to make it clean, obviously that is always helps, you know, keeps the, I guess, respect from everyone. Then that was probably my best.
Yeah.
What was your best move on track this year and why?
Yeah, my favorite. Yeah, I think last race in Brazil was quite a lot of action going on, and I think the move on Rosberg was pretty nice to go from third to second around the outside, and you're like really on the edge with the car.
The aquaplaning was so
yeah,
bad.
it was pretty bad, and yeah, that was a good feeling. Let's say like that.
How do you think you've changed this year? Firstly, I'm sure you've got a bit more hair on your body through growing up and getting old.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, definitely.
But maybe not physically, but inside.
I mean, you're growing up, especially, traveling around the world makes you grow up very fast, and then with all the experiences from Formula One, that makes you grow up even faster.
And like the outside, like having, obviously, your profile has changed from say last year to this year. Have you noticed like? I guess there's more attention, but is there like some cool experiences you've had with famous people or like anything?
I'm like I want to stay at home, you know, have fun with friends, and I'm not like I want to meet this kind of person. I want to like meet a movie star. I'm really not into that. Of course, you know, you get recognized much more in Holland, like you have in Australia. That has changed a lot from last year, where you could still walk around in Amsterdam, quite unnoticed, maybe a few pictures, but like now it's pretty bad, I would say, yeah. I think it's also, I mean, because nobody has won before in from Holland, so I mean, then it gets quite a lot of attention once you win a race. So
I noticed that as well from 2013 to 2014. I think as well, you get with a big team, so that already creates more attention, and then obviously the results are coming. You're probably on TV more because you're running at the front, and then it's
keeps on going.
That's the big team thing changes a lot.
Yeah. What do you think about comments that the rivalry will increase between us next year?
I think, I mean, a lot of people are, in a way, it's cool that they're thinking about this because they believe that we will be fighting for a title. So, in a way, I take it like as a positive that they believe in us, sort of thing. And they think we might get to the point that Lewis and Nico are fighting for a title. And then I guess some of the comments are based on Nico and Lewis's relationship, that, you know, before their sort of teammate and all that, they were quite close and all this, and then the rivalry grew them, you sort of spread them apart a bit more and whatever. But I take it as in a way a compliment. I told them that I would love to be in that position, because
for sure.
if we're fighting for a title, then
it would be
I
very
think we're
nice.
both happy.
Yeah. Then I think there would be some more trophies
we'll take
here.
the extra pressure.
Yeah.
When you're racing, how much fun are you having on a scale of 1 to 10? Or is the concentration too great?
That just depends where you are, you know, what position you are and in what state. I mean, if you're catching someone, if you're defending. So I would say Brazil is like close to a 9 or a 10. But I mean, if you're like struggling a lot with your tires and they're coming from behind, it can be like a 4, you know. It's like, of course you're very concentrated and stuff, but it just depends a lot in which situation you are, I think.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it depends on, I guess, your position and that as well. That can change maybe the number or the scale of 1 to 10. But I think generally Sunday is the best day of the week. Like Friday, you know, like practice doesn't excite me nowhere near as much as racing. It depends how the race goes, but let's say at just before 2 p.m. on Sunday, if it's a normal race time, I'm like 10. Like I'm just loving
getting ready for it.
Yeah, so it's racing is the most fun. Like
at the end of the day, you're a racer. You know, you want to go into the race and fight for points and compete and race for it. Yeah.
All right. How did you feel during those last 17 laps in Brazil?
Well, I was second, and then I dropped back to 16.
From putting the wets on?
Yeah.
Because we were on intermediates, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was no point to continue. I mean, it was so difficult to drive.
Yeah.
And I was still like discussing when you pitted, and I was like, oh my God. Well, now
because I was asking, I said, is Max staying out on inters? I was like, I said the restart's going to be tricky.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, at one point, even behind the safety car in the last sector, I couldn't drive it. It was like just a boat.
Yeah.
So I was like, guys, I'm going to pit now. Otherwise, I'm going to shunt the car once we restart. You know. So then I was like almost last. I think I had one car behind me, like, and I was about to touch the radio button. I was like, Max, just don't do it. So I just stayed away from the radio button. I was like, just thinking in myself, I was like, well, just calm down.
To say, yeah, like, what have we done? Sort of
I was like, oh my God, guys, we were like in second and now we are 16.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I mean, once I got through the cars, I was getting happier, and I mean, the feeling was there. I was feeling good. The car was performing really well. The car had a lot of grip.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I mean, at one point when I was like around 6th or 5th, I was like, okay, well, maybe there's a chance for a podium. And then once you overtake the final car to get onto the podium, then, I mean, it's a really good feeling, I would say, because in such a short time to pass that many cars, of course, was something special, and I definitely enjoyed that.
And to stay on track
was
in
already
those conditions.
Very difficult. I mean, the last sector was, I mean, I think you saw my near crash. I mean,
I was looking through some onboards, like nearly every driver, maybe not as big as yours, but even Rosberg had a big moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, just to cross the line in that race, like to finish the race was already like, okay.
Yeah, because my final lap, I was like 1.5 seconds slower just because I was going really slow into the last sector because I didn't want to crash at all. And that was, as you know.
Could you see Rosberg or they had?
No, he was like 11 seconds in front. So,
okay.
It was a big gap.
It was fun.
It was good fun. When you look at your trophies, which one stands out for you?
I think in terms of looks, the Budapest one.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
The 3rd place. It's definitely unique, and it's quite traditional, you know. So it looks, for me, I look at it and I think, oh, that looks quite East European. So I like that a lot because it is different. But in terms of, obviously, I look and I immediately notice my first place in Malaysia. Your first place is bigger in size from Barcelona, so I'm not that happy about that. But
I mean, I have to say, the one from Japan is actually also pretty nice. It has some good details in it.
I like that. They've always done, I think, with like the flowers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the name of them, but I look at it and I think, it's Japanese. So.
No, it's cool.
All right. What's been the best thing for you off track this year, and why?
Best thing off track? Oh. I think it's just being at home, to be honest. Just spend time with your friends and family, you know, just have fun. I think it doesn't need to be something very special. So, just have fun with your friends, go-karting, this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think that's what people don't understand, huh? Like if they're not involved in racing, or it's like they don't understand how little time we get at home and see friends or family. And
you're just, I mean, even when you don't have a race, you're always traveling for the simulator or like events and absolutely.
Yeah, I fortunately I had I was fortunate to have a friend I went to school with who came to a couple races this year, Austin and Mexico, and like he's known me since we were 10, 11 years old, and he knows that I race. Even then, obviously, I was racing, but he still didn't know what's involved, and he was like amazed with the hours we spend at the track, like from Wednesday onwards, and he was just like, I just thought you'd rock up to the track, do a few interviews and race sort of thing. Yeah. So it was cool for someone to see that. It's even more difficult
because I mean, you have to leave Australia, you have to go and live in Europe, and you don't see your family sometimes for like a long time. So that's even more difficult.
Yeah. yeah, it's as you say, it makes you grow up quicker, being away from home and all that. But there's positives for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could pick anyone to do a shoey with on the podium, who would it be?
Out of the drivers, I will say Lewis, because it was one race, I think it was Austin, when I gave it to Gerard Butler, and he was laughing, but he sort of knocked me and he said, "You'll never get me to do that." He's like, "Don't you ever, because I'll never do it."
So you should try it.
That like motivated me to just want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But only if I win, and if he's there, I'll like force him to do it. And he won't have a choice, because if he doesn't, I'm sure the whole crowd will like boo or something. So yeah, I think just to get back at him sort of thing for that, then that would be fun. If you could take one of my trophies, which one would it be and why?
The trophy, I would take third position from Hungary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very beautiful one.
Yeah, that was, I agree. It's, as you say, it stands out, and it's like...
In terms of results, I would like to swap in Malaysia, of course. But in terms of trophies, I would definitely take that one.
Yeah. All right.
Other ones from the States is also not bad.
Yeah.
Can I have two?
Maybe. See, that's like the States as well. It's got the American colors. It's got like the star.
Well, I need to get one more podium, then we're equal. So then maybe we can share something.
Okay.
What are you most looking forward to in the off season?
Just not thinking about racing. I'll still do things which give me some adrenaline, riding bikes and all that. But just, being with friends and getting away. Like a few of my friends have farms and stuff. So like 3 hours from Perth.
Good temperature then in Australia. You don't like the snow, do you?
No.
I mean.
So you've just answered it for me. The thing I'm looking forward to most is sunshine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 35, 40 degrees.
Yeah.
Done.
If you could invent anything to go into the car to make driving more comfortable, what would it be?
Easy. Music. A sound system.
Yeah.
A sound system, and in like Singapore and Malaysia, a cooling, something that keeps you cooler.
Yeah.
Man, those 2 races were so hot this year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
That would help a lot, because even when you have your visor open, it's not cooling, it's like warm air.
Yeah.
So...
what would you have?
Well, just the cooling.
Yeah.
I mean...
music?
Well, music, it's all right. Once I'm in the car, I don't need music, but yeah, the cooling, absolutely.
Maybe in Brazil we could have done with a heater as opposed to a cooling system.
Yeah,
something warm.
And gloves, like something with gloves.
Yeah,
because
that keeps your gloves
well,
from getting wet.
Exactly.
Is that what you're going to say or not?
Yeah, because they got really slippery.
Yeah.
Because when they
your hands get cold.
Yeah, it's we have such big.
I know we sound like big girls' blouse.
Yeah, big issues we have here.
Oh, all right. Simple question. What do you want to achieve in Formula One?
Being world champion. I think that's everybody's goal. Well, first of all, I would like to win some more races, and then I think automatically when you start winning races, then you start fighting for a world championship at one point, hopefully. You?
Same. Yeah. I think it's. I mean, that's if there's one answer, it's that. But if you go beyond that, then what do you want to achieve? You want to achieve fun and enjoyment, and
it shouldn't be only like work. You should also, enjoy, I think, those years, because they pass by very quickly.
It's a big part of our life.
Yeah.
And it goes quick. So.
Yeah.
Sure. Who do you think is more famous, me or you?
I think it just depends on which country you go. I mean, for sure, when I go to Australia, it's you. And when you come to Holland, I mean...
or Spa, there was so many Dutch flags, so...
Yeah, I think in general, I think it's still more you.
It's close.
The steering wheel has lots of functions. Do you know all of them?
I do. Yes, I do. Okay, giving myself a little bit of credit here, probably giving all of us some credit, but I can't multitask to save my life. Like if I'm on my phone messaging someone, you could be talking to me saying, the house next door is on fire. I wouldn't even know like what you're saying. But when it comes to the race car, maybe it's because I love doing it, but I can do things on the steering wheel. I can think about the balance. I can talk to my engineer. I'm like multitasking at high speed.
Yeah.
So that, it sort of surprises me, because anything else in life, I can't do that. But when it comes to the steering wheel and all that,
It's quite amazing then what the brain can do, isn't it? Like
yeah.
the difference it can.
It shows, I think, when you enjoy doing something,
Yeah.
you can be a lot more better at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I always have like after a break, like a winter break, when you jump back in the car, you're like, what was that again? And then you need a few laps to understand. All right, Daniel. Being so much in the public eye, do you find you think a lot about your hair and how do you look?
No offense, Lewis, but not as much as Lewis. There's a few actually who, I mean, it's a little bit natural to care about yourself a bit more when you're on TV.
I would say this year you improved a lot in the looks with your hair.
Yeah.
From before. Before you looked a bit funny, to be honest. You were a bit like a joker.
I don't know, like it changes. I think it depends on your mood.
When you look at those pictures, yeah, I think you have changed in a positive way.
Yeah, I've grown up.
You went from like a 7 to a 10.
Yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. Sure, it depends. Like if there's an event, maybe you care a bit more. Like you want to look a bit good, but I don't know. Some days, like I don't know, like now, like towards the end of the season as well, you're just tired, and sometimes you're just like, oh, whatever, I'll just put this on and just go. So
or just use a cap quickly to cover it up.
Yeah. So it depends, but
yeah.
Sure. I mean, everyone likes looking cool,
Decent.
one way or another. It has its moments. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You?
To be honest, I'm always wearing a cap. Like, I think 95% of the year I'm wearing a cap. So.
Okay. And you're not really shaving yet, so there's not much to really maintain.
I do like every 3 days.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So even like that, like if I look close, there's probably